Hi guys, you have Neil here as the sport nutrition consultant from Classy Bodies Wellness Clinic, located just upstairs St. Augustine's, Macoya. And today we're going to continue our series looking at the different uh, tenets of proper sporting performance and nutrition. And we're going to look today at hydration. So I think the first week we would have covered micronutrients. The second week, that was last week, on the chlorine calorie segment, we would have spoken about the importance of macronutrient balance. And then today we're going to speak about hydration, which can be very often overlooked in aquatic sports, mainly because we are submerged into a body of water, right? So one of the major concerns with aquatic athletes is the issue of dehydration, right? Um, and this is because when you are submerged in water, you are one, not consciously aware of the fact that you are losing water and electrolytes through sweat because you're in a pool, so you're just covered in water. So you're not really thinking about, oh, I'm sweating. Additionally, because you are surrounded by water, right, your brain sometimes doesn't signal the oh, I'm thirsty um, in time, and it leads you to be dehydrated for a prolonged period because of the fact that you have been submerged in water, and you only feel the effects of that when you come out of the pool and you're like, oh, gosh, I can drink an entire bottle of Gatorade or a bottle of water now, right? Now, so we already know that our body consists of at least 70% water, and our blood is about 97% water, right? So this in itself means that water is a very, very, very important substance that we need to be paying a lot more attention to in our everyday lives and as athletes, right? So now maintaining good hydration is also important for your kidney health, right? Now the kidney performs two main roles. Red blood cell production begins in the kidneys, and it produces the hormone of erythropoietin. And maintaining a good red blood cell count can directly impact performance. How? You're looking at aerobic fitness, which is what swimming really is, maximal oxygen consumption, that's the VO2 max, and also your kidneys play an important role in the balancing of electrolytes, right? Now, dehydration can contribute significantly to fatigue and declining in your performance in the pool, right? So not only is it gonna be causing you to, be just more tired, but you're also gonna have loss of mental focus. Your technique begins to get sloppy. You're a bit more hesitant, and you may not react quick enough. And these are all effects of dehydration. So this is why you need to be properly hydrated always in the pool, right? In general, let's say you are going to train. A rule of thumb that I have seen, I have observed in a couple of studies, is that you want to ensure that you are properly hydrated before you begin training, right? So what would that mean? I would say a rule of thumb: before you get into the pool, you must urinate very, very, very light yellow or clear. That's a signal that, okay, I am properly hydrated. And you will feel the difference because of just being hydrated. You feel more energized, you are better able to form in the pool, right? We're looking at periodic water breaks. And you may not have time in a session as a mark just for a break, but you're gonna need to have fluid consumption throughout your session, right? And in terms of electrolytes, because you're losing that through sweat in the water, right? You're gonna need to have some form of electrolyte drink there with you. That can be something that's just like a Gatorade or a Powerade, or you can even make it for yourself at home with just salt water and the sugar for flavor, whatever, right? Because the main electrolytes that you're losing through the sweat will be sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and chloride, chlorine, chloride, sorry, right? And calcium, sodium, and potassium are incredibly important for muscle contraction, right? And by losing these things, you can then lead to you can then run into issues of muscle weakness or cramping, which sometimes your toes would cramp in the pool. Right, that's a sign that you are a bit dehydrated and you have lost some electrolytes. Put that back in, right? So, some fruits with you by the pool: watermelon, banana, um, carrots, corn. Those things are good natural sources of electrolytes. Alternatively, like I said before, you can have a drink with you there that allows for um, electrolyte replenishing. Um, if you're looking at sodium and chloride, then that's just table salt, right? A teaspoon, about 5 grams, allows about half of the sodium that you would need before you train. And in most sports drinks, they go upwards of like 50 milligrams for every allows for um, electrolyte replenishing. Um, if you're looking at sodium and chloride, then that's just table salt, right? A teaspoon, about 5 grams, allows about uh, half of the sodium that you would need before you train. And in most sports drinks, they go upwards of like 50 milligrams for every 100 milliliters. So, you can have that with you while you train, a salted beverage. I mean, Gatorade is fine. You don't need to drink salt and water. That's not food, right? Um, so that's just the basics of what we need to consider as to why hydration needs to be very important. So if you need more information on this, you can come and check us out in clinic of Citizens of Excellence. We're there every day, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. I believe. So check us out there, and peace. See you all next week.
Right, so good evening and welcome back to Touring Callaloo, and this is the segment we like to call Flashback Freestyles. And with us this evening, we have Mr. Mosi Dinoon. Good evening, Mosi.
Good evening, Jason. How are you going?
I'm all right. So, Mosi Dinoon, tell us, when did you start to swim? How did you get involved into the sport of swimming?
Uh, that's a long story. So what happened with me, I started swimming at the age of around 5. It had a guest house swimming pool further down the road from where I live in Concordia. So I used to take my bike and ride down the road and jump over the wall to go into the people's swimming pool. And eventually just being there, the swimming pool down there had a swim training program going on by Miss Beverly Joseph. And she saw me doing that, and that's how I actually got started in the art of learning how to swim. With regards to competitive swimming, I didn't start competitive swimming until maybe around 18, when I got into the University of Trinidad and Tobago. That's when I actually first started competitive swimming. Before I actually attended maybe 1 or 2 swim meets in Trinidad, I attended one in San Fernando. I think the team back then was Silverfin. Is that a Silverfin or a Silver Sharks?
Yeah, Silverfin,
right. So Silverfin's in San Fernando. That was like one of my first swim meets in Trinidad when I was younger. I didn't know about
Right.
good experience, you know. And then my next swim meet in Trinidad would have been the secondary school swim meet where I was the lone Tobagoan swimmer that came down for that secondary school swim meet and
Right.
tideway down to Center of Excellence, you know. So it's been a journey. And then from there started at 18 in competitive swimming, made my first national team at 2010, in 2010.
How old you were then?
Nothing with ages, so I can't
Mathematics, mathematics.
I don't know, maybe 18, 19, I think.
Right. So, but I remember you got into UTT. How did that happen? How did you? Because is it that your talent was just identified and they offered you a scholarship for UTT?
Well, when they were scouting in UTT, I think they came across to Tobago to just check to see if there were any swimmers over here. And they took the two top swimmers from Tobago, which was myself and Amanda Louis. She was the top female, and I was the
Right.
top male in Tobago. So based on that, they took us down and we came in on a walk-on scholarship to UTT. And from there is where we build and we swam, train, make sure we kept our grades up, compete when they needed us to try and get onto scholarship to actually swim.
So you would have done some CC cans. Did you do any CISC?
I did 2 CISC. I did not do CCCAN. I think I missed that by 0.01 of a second.
Right.
Yeah, when I tried to thing, you know. But hey, I worked harder and then I got into CISC the year after. So
And did you medal in any of these games individually?
I medaled in 2010. That was my first ever national swim team, and I got a bronze medal in the 100-meter breaststroke. The
Wow.
2012 I didn't medal, and when I went over to Masters, I medaled in my first Masters swim meet in Colombia, 2015.
Would you have been the first Tobagoan to medal in a curve test, CC can, those kind of games?
I was the first Tobagoan to medal in a CISC because
Right.
when I started swimming, I was too old for Carifta and Goodwill, which I learned later on in my swimming career.
Okay. So following the swimming and but you're still swimming because you're doing masters, etc. You went on to coaching as well. What was the reason for that?
For me, it merely came down to giving back to Tobago because after I went to Trinidad for the 7 years I was down there doing my studies and swimming, when I came back to Tobago, I saw a kind of void where, you know, the experience that I had in Trinidad from being a swimmer, I could have now bring it across to Tobago to train the children of Tobago for them to actually make it in swim because being a Tobagoan back then, when I was just swimming on a regular in Tobago, I always wanted to be on the national team. But the fact of the
Right.
matter is, I did not know how to get on the national team. So I would say to myself that I would like to be on the national team. And then maybe like a few days after you open the papers and see, well, the Carifta team is so by so by so. And I was like, I don't understand how this happened. I don't understand how the process. So what I brought to Tobago more or less is just the idea or the know-how of how to make it from this point to that point with regards to going on a national team. You know, so
And
that's
and we would have seen subsequent to that a lot more Tobagoans have been making teams, different teams along the way.
that's right, that's right. And you know,
Um,
they do have worked hard for it. You know, I would give them that. And you know, the making the journey down to Trinidad for the 5 days swim meets where they have to take time off from school, where the principals and the teachers have to be understanding and the parents themselves. And they have been a great support with regards to taking the time off to come down for the swim meets, you know, and really applaud them for that kind of forward thinking because it's not easy giving a child 5 days or for, you know, 3 days or whatnot when they have to go to the national team. A lot of teachers and principals could tell a child no, you know. But so far they have been supporting us whenever we have swimmings. We appreciate that.
okay. So with regards to the coaching side of it, do you, as What is your major challenges in getting people to swim in Tobago?
Um, hmm, the major challenges I think would be the feeder program that we have in Tobago because our swim team is mainly run under the YMCA. So, we allow the YMCA to do more or less the teaching of the Learn to Swim program, and then they feed them into the swim team where we more or less gear them for competition. Um, I think that's mainly our main challenge is just the time period between the Learn to Swim into the competitive swim team side. That is our main challenge with regards to swim team and getting swimmers.
But is that so? Would it be that? I mean, we have other people from Tobago talking along in the program, but are Tobagonians swimming? Do Tobagonians want to swim? Other than
Yes, they do.
other than
Other than
competitive?
competitive swimming, yes, they generally want to swim. So you have the interest in Tobago. There's no lack of interest. There are a lot of swimmers. When we did our last take in before COVID, we had maybe 30 to 35 kids that signed up that wanted to join the swim team. So there is the interest. The interest is there with regards to swimming in Tobago, and then our swim team, we go out of Trinidad and Tobago with regards to swimming. So it's another pointer that allows the parents and the swimmers to want to join and be into this sort of activity, you know. So the interest is definitely there in Tobago.
Okay. How? I'm sure some of your athletes would have some. I mean, you talk about people coming and having to be here for 5 days and things like that. I mean, I would assume that takes a toll on the athlete sometimes. Is there any additional support that you all would need to maximize performance of Tobago Summon? Since
Um,
everything, well, everything's on basically for the most part.
but with regards to the 5 days, I wouldn't say it really takes a toll on the swimmers per se because they actually enjoy it. Because I mean, at the end of the day, yes, they would have to do their studies when they come down with us or whatnot, but at least they get a time to bond with each other and be away from anything stressful, so they get to relax a little bit more.
Right.
With regards to support, we mainly get support from the Tobago House of Assembly. They help us when they can, and for the most part, they do help us. When they can't, we do our fundraisers to help come down to Trinidad because when you decide or when our club decides to come to any swim meet in Trinidad, whether it be developmental or competitive, it comes with a high cost tag attached to it. So even if you say you're coming down to just a 1 day swim meet, a 1 day swim meet with all your developmentals, it comes up to a lot of money. You're coming down to a 5 day swim meet, it comes up a lot of money. And at my point in my coaching career, I say I don't ever want to be put in a position where I have to tell a swimmer that, hey, we can't really go this swimming because of funding and whatnot. So that's why we would try our best to do like a pecan fish or a barbecue or something to make sure that these children and these athletes get a chance to compete. No matter the price tag, but the price tag is a lot.
Right.
We try our
Well,
best, and we have been doing it so far.
yeah, because actually every time I watch mostly profile as wonder if he's a swim coach or if he's selling food. Because we always have a little fundraiser,
Yeah,
going on to Tobago IMC.
it literally takes if you can price it out, it takes a single fundraiser to go to a swim meet. Like every fundraiser you do is you're allowing the swim team to go a swim meet. And it's difficult, it's hard, but the parents are there supporting, the executive is there supporting. So I mean, we're making it work by all means, by any way necessary, any way possible that we can. We make it work, and it has been working for us so far.
Is there any additional support you could get from Trinidad?
Yeah, I was thinking with regards to support, because Trinidad is very welcoming. I'm not going to lie. Since I have been a swimmer in 2010, dealing with my coach Paul Nualdo, and even the swimmers that surrounded me in 2010, like Vince and Strasser and all these people, Trinidad has been very welcoming to me as a swimmer. And
Right.
with regards to my swim team, they always ask if we require help. This is not just, I'm not just talking about the executive, I'm just talking about the swimming community in Trinidad on a whole.
Right.
So they would always ask us if we need help or if we require assistance with something, and it is helpful. With regards to beyond that additional support, I guess the only thing I can think of is maybe help with funding and accommodation, because what does liquor sub the most is you see accommodation. But like I said, we don't complain. We muster through and we make it through to the end, regardless of anything.
Any final word for Tobago swimmers to encourage them to get involved in the sport?
I would always say that we are here. Swimming is not a sport that you could take lightly. It comes with its own great deal of work, and you have to be willing to put in the work if you want to reach where you want to be. And once I have swimmers that come to me and they are willing to put in the work, even if you come on a day and you give me, you're feeling 50%, and you give me, 100 out of that little 50%. Some at trend, I have one child who she can't hear properly, and she shows up every single day to training. She fell off something and busted her shoulder, and she still come to training. And it's just that kind of determination that inspires you to really come out to coach and get the children going, because the children of Tobago, I mean, they have that passion, they have that will, and beyond COVID, because COVID is just a destruction to swimming all around, but beyond that, really great, really great. Be here for them, and once they're willing, most important, once they're willing and they know why they want to do it, come and join swimming and do what you have to do, man.
All right, so that was Mosi Dinoon. Thank you very much for your time. Also, thank you very much. I mean, you have led away and light away for some additional Tobagonians to come onto the national team, and we have seen the improvement and the increase in the numbers of swimmers as well. So thank you for your contribution, and I know you're keeping at the Masters, so we're hoping to see some things from you in the Masters in the future.
Definitely. Thanks for inviting me on the program.
What about getting some Tobago Masters in? You can't be the only one there too.
I mean, with Tobago Masters,
yeah.
With Tobago Masters, we have maybe 2 or 3 swimmers. So we have myself, Rochelle Pierre, and John Prokop.
Oh gosh, I mean Tobago, come on.
That is Tobago. But it's actually something that we are looking into starting, right, because we have 1 or 2 masters here, so what they have been doing, they have been swimming in the morning sessions with the swimmers and them, right. I guess they reach that point of being comfortable with swimming in Tobago and then coming down to Trinidad to try and qualify. That's it's a little confidence gap that I have to manage, but it's have people who are willing and who are interested, but like I said, that confidence gap, but we'll get there, definitely.
Very well, man. Thank you very much, Mosi, and keep safe.
No problem. You too, man. Keep safe down there.
All right.